Good evening. It's Saturday, September the 20th at just a little after 6:30 p.m. Um, we need to get a move on figuring out who we want to have for the 2026 elections. We need to vet them. We need to make sure that they're not taking up any APAC funds. We need to know exactly where they're standing, because we can't have like what happened with 2023 and 2024. They claim, they run as Democrats and then they turn Republican. This, that's what got us into a lot of trouble. I'm trying to figure out. Now, I'm not going to encourage anybody to go to any protests that isn't able to physically or whatever, But I will say that every last citizen that, considers themselves Democrats, that consider themselves to be on the left progressive side, to boycott. As the least you could do. We need to put a squeeze on all the corporation pocketbooks. Just what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. This should have been a thing for everybody to have started a long time ago. And yeah, I started a long time ago, not because I, was able to spend all kinds of money at those, all that, but I was trying to boycott like Walmart, and I didn't buy a whole lot of things, and then when I found out certain companies were pretty shady in what they were doing, I stopped buying from them. And then I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I really basically have everything I need, I don't need anything new, sparkly, in the fashion, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But the bottom line is if you can't discipline yourself as far as what you're buying and how you spend your money, where you spend your money, you gotta work on that. Really, got a lot of work to do on that. Like I say, and then what we have to do is to work on, like I say, vetting the people that we're gonna vote in 2028. First 2026 and then 2028. But that takes a lot as it is. And so if we don't start it now, if we don't start picking the right people and making sure that they're not gonna, like I say, not gonna do the switch, then we'll be okay, I think. That's if we have the elections. I mean, everything that Trump is doing is like, he's putting roadblocks, and unfortunately, like I say, until the corporations step in and start saying, hey guy, you're messing with our pocketbooks because these people are not spending their money like they used to. We're having to delve into our surplus, or what we got overseas or whatever, But yeah, and make sure, like I say, the people that we vet aren't taken from those PACs that are sending the money to genocide other people, to try to control all those smaller countries. The bottom line is when we vet people, we need to make sure that they're not going to do to other people what we don't want them doing to us. You know, it's like a lot of the creators I listen to. We don't want another country going and coming into our country to try to tell us how we're supposed to run our country. And unfortunately, we got the Trumpy to doing what Putin wants. And he's putting us in such danger. It's like, and I tried to say this months ago. I tried talking about the internment camps back in his first term that he was starting. And even with those, they still voted him in. It's no wonder that they think that they could do whatever they want. They got the green light. They got these people voting them in. And we need to get rid of Citizens United. You know, but somehow, some way, we've got to, at all possible, do the general strike. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of resources, and I'm not really physically able to do like I used to do. So I'm just trying to give pinpoints and hints and some ideas as to what we can do. We got people out there, you know, with the general strikes and the boycotts and all of that, you know. Like other people say, pick a cause if you can. If you have to pick just one, and go all force into it. It's like I say, I started years ago with the boycotts because I knew that's the main thing that's gonna cause the corporations to come back on the politicians and say, whoa, we need them to spend money again. So, but unfortunately, like I say, I wish that I could do a whole lot more, but physically, like I say, I can't. I'm able to do what I can do, and I'm trying to do what I can do, but I'm especially trying to keep on top of things. But please, we can't sit on the sidelines. That's one thing that none of us can do. Do what you can do from where you're at, but do not sit on the sidelines at all. I love y'all, and I'm trying not to make these types of videos too long, but it's so hard to hear everything that's going on, especially all these Democrats that voted for the to honor Charlie Kirk. It's like, where are these people's heads at? That's why we gotta vet, and sometimes we just have to just knock them out. Anyway, I love y'all. God bless you. As always, try to be kind to especially people that you don't understand or, don't normally hang out with. And it goes a long way. And as always, be graceful, especially with yourself. Stay true.